once you realize that you do have a soul tie, and soul tie can be anything. It can come from sexual relationships. It can come from grief.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're doing with your mama. It's a grief. Like, it's so many things that can tie your soul.
Yeah.
But soul ties can be broken, but you have to want to break it.
Yeah.
You have to, and some people, you have to notice it first before it can be broken. But a lot of people don't notice it, are not aware, because you have to be on a certain spiritual level to even notice that something is tied to you and that it's affecting you.
Yeah. How do you break it? Is it through fasting? Is it prayer?
It's through the spirit.
What's up? What's up? This is the ChoppedByT podcast where we get real, raw, authentic conversations. I'm your host, T. And to the right of me, we got Tip. Can I just say, how should I say your name? Should I just full name?
You can say Tiffany.
Okay,
Tip,
Tiffany.
people call me Tip, whatever.
Yeah, because that's why I know you as. I used to see you around school. When did you come to MT?
2011.
2011. Okay, we came around the same time. Okay. See you around school, always in the mix, doing your stuff, doing your thing, being a creative. And now we here on camera.
And now we're here.
Yep. But I want to get right into it. I watch your, what is it, short film?
Series.
Series. So I watched it, Stuck.
Yes,
I liked it. You wrote it yourself?
I did.
Yeah. So what is people don't understand that. What is the work in that though? Like the whole process. Well, let's before we even get to that. Stuck. What is it about? What is it? Just give me the whole breakdown of the show.
So Stuck is essentially about co-parenting, and how we take that decision so lightly. We get into this dating, date people for 1 or 2 months, and then you're pregnant. There's nothing you can know about a person in 2 months to make you have a child with them.
Yeah.
It's just certain things that you're going to miss. You should ask, and we don't do our homework. And then these children are brought into the world, and then you start to see the real side of them. And then you reflect back on what was I thinking.
Yeah.
And so Stuck kind of shows what happens when you do that, when you don't do your homework and you just get caught up in the lust and end up having children with somebody that you shouldn't have children with. Yeah. And in the end, the person who suffers is the child.
And it's so funny. I see that's why I asked did you write it, because I see so many like little subtle things that a lot of people from other places may not understand. I guess they would, but maybe not, like robbing the train. Like that's something that people don't understand.
That's a Memphis thing.
Exactly, unless you're from that area, like getting that train, robbing the train, like, just little subtle things like that people just don't understand.
Yeah, I try to be different because I just feel like as Black people, as independent artists, we go straight for the drug dealing. And, it just I don't feel like it'd be authentic work when you first starting out in the industry. So I kind of wanted, there's so many other crimes that people are doing that's other than drug dealing that we should show. And so that was kind of one of the things for that. And that's what I do when I'm writing in general, just try to be authentic. It's kind of my story, my perspective as a child on my father and his co-parenting with all 6 of his baby mamas.
Oh, shit. Legend.
Legend. So it's like we experienced a lot. And, my daddy was from Memphis. Yeah. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
And so, being in that life, it comes with so many different components and the type of women that you choose. And you don't think about these kids are taking in their own perspective of these grown people situations. And they grow up thinking that that's normal, and it just constantly repeat, which is how you get stuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, coming from a person who at some point in my life, same thing. I grew up pretty much with, I don't even think it was co-parenting on my end, though. Like, my dad really didn't do anything in the beginning, for me and my mother. So it was one of them type of situations. But coming from a person who has experienced personally, from a father's perspective, the co-parenting experience, I can say that a lot of the dynamics in there, I can see that you explore because, okay, me, for example, sometimes when, all right, you meet a person, you do what you do with them, you have sex, you have this child, you forget you had so much love for them at some point, so it's a lot of mixed emotions there, and you throw a child in there, and it started to become even more complicated because you got to deal with the day-to-day with the child.
Right.
And it grows to a point to where you like, as much as you used to love that person, you start to hate them.
Right.
And you see that, in the series that you explored, and I like, that's a testament to, your skill as far as a writer and even the director, because you directed it too, right?
Right. And produce.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. It's
a lot of work. It was a lot of work. I did a whole lot of work on stuff that I wasn't expecting to do. But when you independent, sometimes, when you lack help, you got to do it if you want to see it.
Yeah, I don't think people understand. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What you say? I don't think people understand the process of when you do everything piece by piece, like conceptualization, all the way until the finished product, even the marketing aspect of it that you have to do on your own. I don't think people know the work that goes into that, and it can be stressful.
It's very stressful because it's like it's a passion project, and you know that it's supposed to be seen, but sometimes you get so discouraged because it just be so much work. Yep. Like, oh my God. Like, I did have an editor, but most of the production, the social media, strategy, all that's me. Like, I shot a lot of those scenes. Yeah. I had a DP, but as far as like being able to afford somebody who, you know, or I don't have to do as much work, it kind of, you get short because then you got to feed people and, you know, because I can't pay all the actors. So you got to have incentives for them to want to be around. And then you got to go off everybody's schedules because you're not really paying them a lot. So if they ain't available this day when you had the schedule, then you got to go back and redo it all over again. So it's just like, but it took me a year to finish Stuck.
Wow. Like all 3 episodes?
All 3 episodes. So we probably had about 9 production days, and then we was able to, you know, the editor went ahead and finished it up for me.
What was your goal in creating that, though? I know you said it's a passion product, but what's the goal in it?
The goal is so when I write movies and short films, my goal is to not answer a question. It's to ask a question. I want people to watch my content and, you know, think about like, well, maybe if I don't do that, I won't be in that situation. Yeah. Or, man, I did do that. How can I not do it again? And so that's kind of like my reason for writing. And, of course, you know, to give glory to God. Yeah. I ain't just getting these stories from nowhere. I done went through these experiences because he want me to tell these stories. And so, like, that's where I come from in creating.
Is it therapeutic? I know it's cliche to say,
but it's very therapeutic. It's kind of like a healing. Me showing Stuck is from a child's perspective is my childhood trauma, which is why, like, I don't want to date nobody with children because I was in that situation and I don't ever want a child to feel how I felt sometimes in those situations. And so as much as I can prevent it from my family and the generations to come, I want to do it for other people too, the masses. So, that's...
What was that experience dating, or not you dating somebody, but being from your perspective of seeing somebody dating other people with children? What was that experience for you as a child?
It just leave things open for conflict. Because with children, in those 18 years that y'all are technically responsible for co-parenting, y'all are going to disagree on something. And somebody's feelings going to be hurt. And when there's multiple children involved, I don't think parents realize, you got other kids that you can, you know, love on, but that child only have you. Right. And I feel like in a co-parenting situation, the child loses because you're not seeing your daddy every day. You don't really know, you know, certain things that, you know, how would a man respond in this situation? And so the kid lack. And so that's kind of like why. And then it's like 2 different households. What they doing over here, you not doing it at home. So it's like you get the child be confused. Like, I remember being younger and my grandma was like, you don't do that in my house. Like, but at my daddy's house, it's okay. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. And then you find yourself trying to please your mama and please your daddy, you know, to fit in on either side. And so it's just like, I don't want to be in that situation.
I feel it. No, that make perfect sense though. And I mean, I say it to this day, like me and my brothers, we have different fathers. I feel like a lot of our disagreements or outlooks on things, it comes from, I mean, now let me say this. My mother raised all of us, you know, in the home. The dads really didn't do much or whatever, participate, you know, from top to bottom. But still, even with us just having like, I feel like a different genetics. It goes as deep as even genetics. Like I just feel like we so different and we disagree and our responses to things are so different that it's like there's nothing there a lot of the time.
Right. And I kind of feel like that way. I did grow up with my siblings. My daddy was there. He came and picked us up, you know, twice a month on the weekend and we spent time with our siblings. But as adults, it's just kind of like we just so different. Like it's hard to relate sometimes. Of course you love them and you can find things, but it's just like, man, like but if we would have grew up in the house together, you know, it would have There's a difference.
Yeah, and just just having the same mother matters a lot too.
Right.
You
right.
know. Yeah. No, I get it. It's a lot of lessons in stuck though. It's a lot of things that I think, like I said, it seemed like you dropped like little subtle messages in there.
Right.
One of them is just the influence of that I noticed that I don't even know if you intentionally done this, but sometimes the outside influences of friends as well on relationships.
Family.
Yeah.
You can get stuck in family because it's like his cousin. If y'all grew up together and y'all always ran together, of course you're gonna take your cousin wisdom over anything else.
Yeah.
So he was trying not to, trying to go back to work and make money, but as soon as he said this make you want to get back, word.
Yeah. You want to get back in the streets? Yeah, for sure.
And if you had somebody who wasn't, in that, like, nah, maybe that's, I know it's tough, child support hard, but like you don't want to be, what I'm saying, in that street life. Influences matter.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's not only about the baby mama being stuck to the baby daddy, it's about him being stuck in the streets and that mentality, that generational curse.
Yeah, it's a community.
It's a community.
Yeah, it matters the influence that you have around you. And
Right.
I mean, it's just so many levels to this, exploring like the black households and what we have to go through. And I can only speak for us as black people, what we have to go through. And these different dynamics, different influences, different things pulling on us. It's funny how rare you might, because, okay, we grow up in these bubbles, right? Mm-hmm. So me and you probably had like similar experiences as far as growing up in a broken home, a quote unquote broken home or whatever, right? Growing up in that situation, experiencing that and everything that come with that, the criminal aspect and all that other shit that come with family. And we see everybody else around us who probably, going through the same thing. We got cousins that's going through the same shit and all that. But that situation is so rare and like in its entirety, like in the US, that situation is so rare. That's really like almost like a specific black thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you have these conversations, when you get out in the world and you start experiencing people outside of black people, you have these conversations like, wait, you never experienced this. You didn't have an uncle that's in jail, or you don't.
Right, like you be like, oh, and I think that's the benefit of going to college and actually leaving home from going to college. It kind of gives you a different perspective.
Yeah,
because it's like now when I go home and be around my cousins and my siblings, it's like they don't even know or aware that there's something outside of Memphis.
Yeah, it's crazy.
A different way of living, and you can't fault them because you can't fault people for what they don't know.
Yeah. No.
Like,
just coming here, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know anything about fraternities and sororities or any of that. Like all this stuff was like a shell shock to me.
Yeah.
Because not only do I'm West Tennessee, but it's more like it's still country kind of too. Like,
right. Like boxed in.
Yeah. It's like everybody know everybody. All this, shit from stuff that you see from movies or whatever, right? But it's like all of this was a shell shock to me, but I took it a step further and joined the military as well. Right. So that's even more exposure. You seeing white dudes and stuff like this. I mean, some it's funny, but it's simple. It's like making gay jokes and stuff like that. Like, It's like, we don't do that where I'm from. Like, we country, Christian,
That's it. That's all we know.
We don't play that. Like, so it's just stuff like that, just like a shell shock to you when you experiencing life and all of that. Do you think in your writing process, experiencing things is important?
Absolutely, because people not gonna relate to something that's not real.
Right.
That's just a natural thing, and that's why I feel like a lot of independent filmmakers don't really go too far because it's like you just making stuff off the top of your head. Yeah. Like it's not really heartfelt.
Yeah, it worked for Tyler Perry. That boy is fucking.
Well, maybe he know somebody who else that went through it. He seen it from the outside. Like,
listen, I watched this. I'm like, I don't see how he do it, but he always get me coming back watching. I don't see how he do it.
Because I feel like it to some extent those are real stories.
Real stories, same story over and over though. But still,
But people keep watching it, so keep. I mean, hey.
but what do you do? Okay, because as a creative myself, I try to do that. I try to be intentional about. That's why I wanted to change the structure of the show. I wanted this show actually to just be me sitting down having a conversation, but I found that hard to do. Not because I just can't sit up and talk to the camera, because I can, but more so because I'm limited in my experiences. I prefer to have someone sitting beside me, and different person every week sitting beside me, listening to their experiences and what they went through. And that's why I think I thrive at. What do you do to be intentional about continuously being creative and having those new experiences in order to write better or have these different stories?
So I don't really talk a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a very silent. I'm very observant. And a lot of people kind of confide in me
Right.
about certain things, and not even confiding in me. I just listen
Yeah.
to every room that I'm in, and I pick up on these stories, and I just, I jot down stuff. I carry a notebook around with me everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And so, like, say for instance, I'm somewhere and I listen to you talk about your parent, and I'm like, oh, I'm writing the next episode of Stuck. Let me write that down because I can see that deeply hurt him.
Yeah.
So that means somebody, if you done went through it, somebody else done went through it. So let me show it. And so that's kind of like my process. And so I can't just never sit down and just, oh, I'm finna write this episode.
Yeah.
It never happens like that.
Yeah.
I got my notebook and I go back, got to flip pages. I probably wrote on it on the 10th, and then I didn't write again on it to the 18th.
Yeah.
And then the 25th. But then by the 31st, now I can start writing the episode because it done came to me. Yeah. And I felt like I'm very spiritual, and I felt like God unlocked things for me. I have to do certain things to get certain things.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'd be like, dang, that's the scene that I needed. So it's like, and it just come together.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way God communicates with you, is through your art.
It's through my heart.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever, I guess, because, well, let me ask you this. What's the motivation behind your spirituality too? Like, where does that come from?
Motivational behind my spirituality.
Yeah. What is the thing that pushes you? I know we are all like spirit beings or whatever, right? But like, what is because a lot of people ignore that. A lot of people, like, reason why I'm asking is because I've been trying to figure out, how does God communicate with me? Because everybody has a way for God to communicate with them. And I've been trying to explore that, but it's like, I don't know if I know it. Maybe it happens. I don't know if I know it, but like, I guess my question is like, what is the motivation behind you becoming the spiritual person that you are?
Really, of course, you grow up in the church and
Right.
you do stuff in the church because that's what your people tell you to do. But when I came to college, it was like my junior year, I want to say.
Yeah.
I started going to college ministry Bible study, and I normally never talk. It's definitely not in front of groups.
Yeah.
It's just not a me thing. And I was just like so deeply depressed and so sad.
Yeah.
And one day I spoke up in front of the group, and when I said something, everybody was just like, oh my God, like, I've been going through this too. And it's just like, somebody just needed somebody to say something for all of us to go through. And that's when I realized that I had a voice and that God, you can use me in that type of way. So it was just like, it was also a lot for me as well, because people coming up to me and asking me, I'm just like, whoa, like, I wasn't expecting this. And I still ain't 100% comfortable in my voice, but God keep talking to me, and he talks to me in different ways. I'm a dreamer. I dream a whole lot. And I definitely, when I wake up and I remember the dream, I have to write it down because it's something in that he's trying to communicate me through the dream. I also, he also used people as well. I can be, praying or on a fast and ask some questions, and I'll be talking to somebody who I don't never talked to before, and they'll say something verbatim to what I asked or what I needed. And that's kind of how you, like, it's being intentional and being in the spirit to be able to hear.
I get it. And see, I always think it's just one specific thing, but I guess in a sense that's kind of what it is to me. It's always different things.
I could even be listening to a podcast or watching a sermon. I just be like, ooh, like, ain't no way that's coincidental. Like, there's no way.
Right.
Let me write that down.
Yeah. Like, what are the chances that?
What are the chances?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
And God ain't no God of confusion. So if I'm confusion, that ain't it.
Yeah.
But when it's like hit on, spot on, you be like, and sometimes it's scary. I ain't gonna lie. You just be like, ooh, like, but that's how you receive. That's the faith.
Yeah,
like,
I said something once, and one of my friends he argued with me about this later on. Well, he just disagreed, and I told him I felt like God is strongest in a place of chaos,
darkness. Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like that's when I've always felt the presence of God the most, when I'm going through.
When you're going through.
Yeah, all I've been asking for lately is calm. just to be calm? Like,
I've been asking for that. I've been asking for peace.
yeah.
I just finished a fast, and that was my request.
What was your fast like?
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, what did you do? Like, what is?
I did for 6 days. I fast from 7 to 7. No food.
Yeah.
At all. But I juiced fruits and vegetables, 100% fruits and vegetables, and water.
Yeah.
Every day for 5 days. And in those times where I felt hungry, I would pray.
Yeah.
Of course, during the beginning of the week, you put in your request, God, this is what I need. Yeah. I need peace. I want to do this. I want to do that. Yeah. Can you help me see? Can you show me? Can you have somebody tell it to me? Yeah. And that was a fast. I did it for 6 days. Wow. And I got answers for what I needed. And I just feel like my 2025 is going to shape how I want it because I just did this fast.
Right.
And that's just it's a different type of fast. There was a spiritual fast for me. So now I'm going to do a social fast. So from December, I can't remember, 15th to the 31st, I'm not going to do no social media. So I can just clear, my mind, preparing myself for what I asked for.
Yeah. That's tough. That's I try to do that with myself. It's tough because, the show, just always having to be in people's face and put it out there. Or at least I think that anyway. Just always having to market and put the stuff out there. But I want to do that sometimes too, a social media fast.
But that's how you got to do it in bulk.
Yeah.
You prepare 2 months in advance. You go ahead and edit all the episodes, edit all the reels, schedule everything. Yeah. And that way you not having to post in real time. And sometimes with content creators, we kind of get caught up in the content. Yeah. We post some, we constantly checking back. Who said something, who liked it. But sometimes you just kind of need to drop it and let it go.
Yeah.
Log out.
Yeah.
Because then, you getting besides what's the purpose of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You said something earlier that you was quiet and you feel like you didn't have a voice, basically. Where does that come from?
Not have a voice, not being comfortable in my voice.
Yeah.
I've always kind of been shy. My mama has a really big personality. Yeah. And so growing up, she was a life of party. Yeah. Anytime she walk in the room, she there, just everywhere, work at church, anywhere. And so I kind of was shy to the attention. And I kind of felt like sometimes it was expected of me to be like that when that wasn't really who I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though I have the same spirit and the same power in my voice as she does, I never was really comfortable in it.
Yeah.
And so it's like now as the more and more I get into directing and writing, I have to talk about this stuff. It's like now I'm getting more comfortable in, speaking and, being heard.
Yeah. It's so funny that you said that because my dad, he's an alcoholic, right? Or he was recovering, I guess I could say. He still do beer and stuff. But really why he can't drink now is because of health reasons. But he used to, be a church mouse. Without the alcohol, but as soon as you incorporate that, he turned into the life of the party, right? And that became his identity. Right. So much so to where me, this is what I'm trying to do as a young kid. In the moment, as a teenager, I'm trying to explore what it is to be a man because I don't have that example of what it is to be a man. And normally, in your adolescence as a man filled with testosterone and all these extra influences around you, the thought of what a man is aggression, aggressive, seriousness, stern. And that's what I exhibited, right? So I took myself way too serious. And I used to come around him and my one thing that I remember telling him when I was 16, when he was just putting on the show drunk and everything, everybody laughing at him. I just grabbed him by his arm. And I asked him, I said, you think you're not a fucking clown? Why you putting on the show? You my dad. That means something. And I told him that. And I can remember his face. And he said, son, you taking yourself too serious.
Calm down, relax.
Right? You're taking yourself too serious. And it's funny because as years went on, I found myself becoming him. Being that person. So I think that was probably one of the biggest lessons that he ever taught me. It's dude, relax. You're taking yourself too serious.
Yeah. And my mama have told me that too before. You don't have to let loose. Yeah. You're so tense. Everything don't have to be perfect and spot on and happen when you want it to happen. Just chill. Yeah. And that's also something that I've been learning, to just be in the moment and just stop worrying so much about what ain't or what people think, or, just be in the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's the thing.
Yeah. Are you the youngest?
I'm the only, I'm my mama's only child.
Okay.
I'm my daddy's oldest.
Oldest.
Yeah.
See. Well,
Yeah.
it kind of makes sense. Like, you the first to come along. You have to. And are you the leader of your sisters, would you say? Like, are you like more the person who everybody come to the, or do you have sisters and brothers? Or just,
Yeah, I got both.
Okay.
I got sisters and brothers. I don't think they come to me because I'm so different.
Yeah.
From them.
Got you.
I do notice that they confide in each other because they live similar lives.
Mm-hmm.
I can't relate to some of that stuff. So it's like I can't really give advice to something that I don't know.
Nah, I feel that.
So they don't. It's like I'm a outcast is a bad word, but I'm totally different.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean that was hard for me too. But now I accept it. Like, I'm happy to be different.
Yeah. Did it make you? Did you have any level of resentment though for that?
I get sad sometimes. Yeah. Like when I go home for a holiday or something, it just kind of be like, when I get by myself and I leave, it just kind of be like, man, like, I'm just different. Like, the stuff that they talk about, I can't join into that conversation. And it's normally the same type of stuff all the time. And it's just be like, can we talk about something else? But they can't talk about what I want to talk about. But it's like, I'm the minority. So it's just like, I mean, it is what it is. This is life.
That's so funny because I experienced that too with my brothers, partly because they're so much older than me.
Yeah.
So it's like different generations. It's like we can't really relate on any levels almost a lot of the time. Yeah, so they can't even understand where I'm coming from.
Right. So it's just.
And I think a lot of times, even though I've learned to loosen up a little bit, I do still take myself too serious at times. Just because it's like, this is the thing that has gotten me to where I am. Like, I won't say I came from nothing, right? But when I got here to MTSU, I started getting like bald spots in my head because I stressed so much, like just little spots, random. I was just so stressed out because I had nothing. You know what I mean? It's like I'm coming down here pretty much with nothing. My mother at the time, she had to have like knee replacement surgery, and then her job ended up firing her, so she couldn't provide financially or anything, which she didn't do much of anyway. As a teen, I guess she did because she kept a roof over my head and stuff.
She did what she could do. Right?
Yeah, but I was like one of them who went out and just got my own money. Like I never, after I think probably like 12, 13, I really didn't ask her for much money like that, because I was always go get my own money. But I just, it took a level, okay, even from prior to that, being the person independent, going to go get my own money, I was always just going. And it took that aggression, that seriousness, that being organized, being militant, I guess is a good word for it. And I mean, that just, especially when I graduated from high school and I wasn't under her roof anymore, I kind of went to a whole different level of that. So it's like a lot of the times I battle with like, hey, just relax. And I think my son does it for me. Like he kind of like,
you can see it.
He'll tell me like, he told me before, like, Dad, chill. Like, yeah. I'm like, chill. Fuck you, chill. Yeah. Like, nigga, like
I'm grown.
Yeah, he like, chill, relax, calm down, breathe. And that's things that I taught him. So, he can really give that back to me. But it's still times when I just take myself too serious because I was rewarded for that. I've been rewarded for that in my life. The aggression, the just go, don't quit, no surrender, no retreat. That mentality, I've been rewarded in my life for that. So I struggle with getting rid of that and calming down.
So now you relating reward to stress.
Almost in a sense, yeah. It's like chaos.
Yes,
yeah.
You gotta break that.
That's why I've been trying to like find a calm. Just God give me calm.
Give me peace. Right. Yeah. You should go on a fast.
Yeah. That's why I asked you about yours, because I never knew how. I got some partners as Christian, partners as Muslims, during Ramadan, they go on fasts and stuff like that. So I hear about different fasts that people do. And I'm like, what would be the right one for me? I've been kind of exploring that.
Whatever something that you do every day, that's what you fast from.
Take away. Yeah.
And it's kind of like and you have to struggle with it because it's not a fast unless it's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And so and in those times when you want to do whatever you've given up, that's when you pray.
Yeah.
And sacrifice is reward.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. I'm just always, I don't know. I've been dealing with a lot of stress lately. Just circumstances with my mother. She's steady going downhill with Alzheimer's and stuff like that. It's hard to see your mother go away like that. I feel like a lot of the times too, I was cheated. I really feel like that. Um, the trade-off is having an older mother is you get the wisdom early on. So a lot of the things that my friends didn't know, I just knew. Even if something simple as washing clothes and
Right.
like I need a woman. Well, I won't say I need a woman. I want a woman for a lot of things, right? A relationship, having a woman for a lot of things, but I don't necessarily need it because a lot of the stuff coming to college, washing clothes, cleaning up, doing things like that, that was already like a regular to me. Even stuff as simple as I don't know, having a bank account, doing just different things like regular life shit. I was already able to do. My mother taught me a lot of that, but I feel like my life with her was short lived because by the time I'm 25, she kind of just almost with the disease just taken away from me.
Yeah.
You know, so I struggle with that too. You know, it's been something that I battle with. I've been battling with as of late.
Yeah, that's heavy.
That's
I
heavy.
don't really know what to, you know, because mothers, you only get one mother, so I can't, you know, that's tough.
Yeah. I think sometimes too. You big. Do you go to church every Sunday?
Well, I work. Yeah.
You work at a church. Oh, so you there every Sunday. Do you feel like there are certain people? Do you believe in curses?
Curses, I do.
Yeah. Do you feel like it's certain people that are that's cursed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so many a lot as a Black community.
Yeah.
We have so many generational curses.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah. I was talking. It's a lady. She's a Kenyan, right? She takes care of my mother. She's a caregiver for my mother. I have her here certain days or whatever, and she said that in Africa, how we view that type of stuff is like spiritual. That's just culture for them, and it's ways to remove that type of stuff, and you have to tap into that. I was listening to Kendrick Lamar album about he was talking about past life regressions or whatever, right? And I just like maybe I need to look into that because it's something. Like my mother was such a good person. I have a lot of people in my family, a lot of people I know, such good people, and you wonder why is this happening to them? What's going on with this?
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, I definitely believe that we kind of get some of the consequences of the generation before decision.
Yeah.
And that's a soul tie.
Yeah.
And when you notice that you do have a soul tie, that's funny. The original title for Stuck was Soul Ties.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I had to change it because I had another colleague who had a soul ties and I didn't want to nothing like that. So I changed it to Stuck because it kind of mean the same thing.
Yeah.
So once you realize that you do have a soul tie, and soul tie can be anything. It can come from sexual relationships. It can come from grief. Yeah. That's kind of what you're doing with your mama. It's a grief. Like it's so many things that can tie your soul.
Yeah.
But soul ties can be broken, but you have to want to break it.
Yeah.
You have to, and some people, you have to notice it first before it can be broken. Yeah. But a lot of people don't notice it, are not aware because you have to be on a certain spiritual level to even notice that something is tied to you and that it's affecting you.
Yeah. How do you break it? Is it through fasting? Is it prayer?
It's through the spirit. Yeah.
Spirit? Yeah.
Yeah. I actually, it was this event called Soul Ties that I went to maybe like a few weeks ago. And I actually learned that as well because I thought soul ties only come through sex.
Yeah, me too.
But when I went to the event and the way that they broke it down was amazing. I was like, wow, because they had a panel and opened the audience up to ask questions, and people was talking about how grief of losing a husband or losing a mother kind of had a hold on them.
Yeah.
I even have a friend who struggled. His mom was pretty much sick his whole life.
Yeah.
And he kind of depended on women to try to fill the void that he felt he had his whole life from not having his mother in full.
Wow.
That's a soul tie.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you're searching for something, you don't even know what you're looking for. You just feel that there is a void, but I just feel like God don't make no mistakes.
Yeah.
So the time that you had with your mother was the time that you were supposed to get.
Yeah. And it does help me. I mean, I was telling the mother of my child, Tyra, I was telling her, just this morning, I told her, hey, spend time with your mother. Lock in with her. It's important. I guess to be able to just really give that to her, I guess that's a blessing within itself because at least I can help her with that. You know?
Right, because we all on borrowed time. Ain't nobody's. Everybody belong to God.
Yeah.
So when he say it's time, like, who am I to argue with you?
Yeah.
That, you know.
No, I did. I thoroughly enjoy Stuck. I like that too. I like the, because so much we associate like series, movies, film, whatever, like content, we associate that with like high level production, this going on, stunts, all of this other stuff, or, you know, all of that. But what Stuck is just, when you strip all of this down, it's, at its basic form, it's a good, relatable story that's shot well. If you can have that, or if I can have that, I'm enjoying things all the time because I'm real big into just consuming like different pieces of content, especially like I like the raw stuff, like the YouTube logging in. You can get on and just see your stuff, you know. And I enjoy that, and I think that's what it is. Is that at its core, it's just a good, relatable story that's shot well.
And I shot multiple projects just going through our film school that I never released because I wasn't comfortable in releasing it. Yeah. So Stuck is like my first project that I was like confident in, and I'm dropping this, and the feedback that I'm getting from it is amazing. And just looking at my analytics on YouTube, my audience is men.
Yeah. Yep.
Majority men. Yep. And I was like, that's interesting. And I was talking to my mentor about it, and he was just like, because you speaking to that generation, like a lot of people don't. Men need support too. Men struggle too. And it's like, I'm not biased in my stories. Yeah, he's horrible, a horrible dad, and he don't help her, but she chose him. So you ain't innocent either. So we all gotta, and that's my story. It's like, I'm not choosing sides. Like, and so
telling the story.
I'm just telling the story. And it's been dropped for like a month or 2 months now, and episode 1 got 5.6 thousand views on it.
As soon as you put it out, I watch episode 1. Like,
and it's just like that first episode come in like, oh, I wasn't ready for this. And it even surprised me. Like,
I watched it. I was somebody shared it that we went to school together, so a lot of mutual followers and stuff. Somebody shared it, and I was like, "What is this?" So I had just went and watched the first episode. You didn't put them all out at one.
I dropped it like a series. I dropped one every week.
Okay, so I caught that first one, and then when going back looking at the rest of it, it's like, oh, okay, like this is good. I even shared it with a few people as well. It's like, man, check this out. Like, what do you think of this? I think it got a lot of potential. Will you keep it going? What's the vision for that?
There's more episodes and stuff coming.
Oh, that's good.
I'm in the writing process. It'll be 4 more episodes. And in writing Stuck, I actually got stuck on it because as I was writing it, the story was changing. And I even stopped. I had wrote episode 4. It's complete. And then as I was writing episode 5, I was like, this ain't even the original story that I was trying to tell. But then it was like the spirit came. It's like, this is what you're supposed to, this is how it's supposed to go. And so it's like, okay, I'm just going to flow with the spirit. If this the story, this the story. Like, and so it gets good. What y'all see, episodes 1 through 3 ain't nothing compared to what's coming in 4 through 7. And we wrap it up. It's a mini series, so we going to wrap it up. And it's just real.
So episode 6, y'all gonna wrap it up. It's gonna just 6 episodes.
7. It's gonna be 7.
7 what we're gonna get.
And we're gonna end it.
Gotcha. Hey, listen. No, it's great though. It's great. That's my type of content to consume too. I told you I watch all the Tyler Perry stuff. People laugh at me about that, but I watch
all Tyler Perry too. I support Tyler Perry because he support us.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm gonna always do it because of that.
And that's what you need. I think that's what a lot of stuff is missing. It's just a real story that's shot well. Like, you know, even the Tubi stuff, some of it is a good story, but it's just sometimes it's not shot well. And I think it's when we try to go and do the extra stuff, that's when we mess up. You know what I mean?
Do the extra stuff too fast.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of had with that, because I'm like, I'm trying to hurry up and get 4 through 7 done, and I'm rushing it. And somebody was like, why are you rushing it? Just, take your time. But yeah, I actually got a short film that's going to drop before the next 4.
Okay.
Because a series takes a lot to shoot. It's very difficult to do. And I just felt like I got another story. After the screening for Stuck, I wrote the next story in 3 days. It's kind of like I had the fire in me. And I was like, oh, that one's supposed to go first. And then we going to drop Stuck. So all of it should be done by the end of 2025. I'm just creating. Like,
is there anything you plan to do around it? Like any premieres or anything, like any events or stuff around it?
So we had a premiere for Stuck in Confessions of a Black Woman. I dropped both of those at the same time. And I just feel like it was a great time, great event. I felt like the money that I spent to do that, I could do it virtually and get more content to push it out. So for my next short film is gonna be called Spades. So for Spades, in the next episodes of Stuck, I'm gonna do a virtual screening to where I have the cast and the crew come, and we basically do sit here and talk about, you know, post show, in between shows. So like in between episodes, I'm still dropping more and more content, and we actually get the perspectives from the characters and the real people, you know, and we sit and have a discussion about it. And then the next projects will go back to the screening.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. I mean, that's kind of like standard now as far as like the way people shoot episodes and stuff. It's like the one that come to mind is Walking Dead, when they would do like, when they would get on and just sit down in a little panel and talk about the show and talk about the character and character development and stuff. I think that's hard too, though.
Right, because we in the day where everybody want to see.
Yeah.
They want to see your process in order to believe that it's attainable to do.
Yeah.
So we have to like come and tell these people, this is hard to do, but you can do it if you actually, you know, put the time into doing it. And so like, I'm trying to follow this independent route, kind of like the Issa Rae and Tyler Perry, how they built their own audience and the studios came to them and say, what can you do for us? That way you still have your creativity control, and you can choose who you want, and you can tell your story how you want to tell it. Instead of trying to write a story, then sell it to you. This is why we need this story. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you that I already know how to do post shows. I can put a screening together. Like I don't need, you know what I'm saying? Like I know how to do this already. And here's the viewership that I got from doing this.
You got the data to back it up.
I got the data to back it up.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's the way.
So just go and write me a check to do me.
Yeah. Thanks. No, that's the way. That's the way. That's the way. I mean, what you just produced, I mean, that's, you know, you see it, and the thing is, you make it look easy, or at least watching it, it looks easy. Like, oh, I can do this. Anybody think, but I can tell just from even what I do, which is a whole different monster compared to what you do, as far as, you know, the moving, the shots, the way you do this, the lighting with different places, having to find different venues or different spots to do these certain shots and all of that. So it's so many levels to it. And hey, you done it. It's out there. And also anything I can do on my end, even you just shoot it to me and I'll share it or whatever. Anything I can do on my end or whatever, you know, just let me know.
I really just need you to share it. Y'all support, like, share, comment, so we can, you know, that this is needed. Like, these stories are needed. And the more y'all come in and give me feedback, the more and more I can create.
Yeah.
Like, I got the fire now. I was scared at first, but now I'm trying to drop 3 projects a year.
Yeah.
Like, I just feel like I can do it. And when you believe you can do it, it can happen. So, like, that's where I'm at with it. Until I can do it 24/7, I'm just going to fit it in as much as I can.
Yeah, I feel it. Look, congratulations on it, too. I mean, hell, you put it out, 5,000 views up until this date. That's a lot. I mean, you couldn't fit 5,000 people in this house, or, you know, so you think about it in that perspective, that's a lot of people, a lot of eyes on your stuff, you know, and you never know who's watching.
Never know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody come in yesterday and was like, are there more episodes? And I loved it. I was just like, because I haven't been getting many comments. I've been getting a lot of likes on YouTube. So I'm like, okay, y'all like it, but y'all ain't give me feedback, but y'all want to know. So I'm just like, maybe I'm doing it.
Yeah. Nah, it's going to happen for you, man. Keep it up. I like what I see. I like it. Hey, and thank you for coming on the show, too.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%. But yeah, I keep an eye out on it, and definitely whenever I see the next episode drop, I'll make sure I share it and everything. And I keep just sharing the actual link, the YouTube link, to different people that I know too. See if they're interested in it as well. Yeah,
y'all can just go ahead and follow Packhouse Studios right now across all platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We got a lot of content coming. The series and the short films take more time, but we're about to start dropping other things too. Spiritual, everything really, because it's like I'm authentic. Like, I love God, but I got some content that's about to, you know, it's raw. I'm not trying to like get around nothing. So everything is real. So yeah, just check us out. Check us out.
Sure. Thank you again, man. Listen, this is the ChoppedByT podcast, where we get real, raw, authentic conversations. Until next time.